Welcome to Patrice for Pilates and Yoga. This is day 3 of a 7-day series for the new year and a new you. So let's get going. We are going to start and warm up our entire body by just going back into a child's pose, stretch through the arms and then come up and just tuck the toes so you're in a squat. And then we're going to come forwards into a plank and we're going to come back into a squat. So this is quite hard, but it's warming us up. So squat and forwards. So squat and forwards. And squat and forwards. And then on the last ones, we're just going to take the knee into sort of a firefly, they call this. So back we go and we firefly. So it's as if we're just resting on our elbows. So we go squat back and firefly over. So a couple more, or you just stay with the squat. So squatting back and just coming back into your plank. And back and forwards. And then from here, we drop our knees and make sure we're at hip distance apart and come into a basic box. And we're going to do some box press ups. So from here, you can literally stay where you are and just tricep dip and take your weight over the arms and push yourself back up. Now that's hard enough in its own right. So just tricep dip, head towards the floor and back up. So what we're doing, we're using our arms to make a shelf. So they're working those triceps. Draw the tummy in and back up. And if you want to, you can go a bit longer. Take the knees back and then come over and go right down. And in some respects, these are actually easier, I find. But what works for you? So do the option that works for you today. So that's our last one. We'll come back and push ourselves back and down to the ground. So this is day 3 of a routine. So I don't know what time of day you're doing this. If you're doing it in the morning, it will certainly wake you up. If you're doing it in the evening, we'll have a cool down afterwards anyway. So from here, we've done a lot of work on the arms. We'll come through. We'll take the left arm under the right and we'll just stretch out the shoulders. So just have a little stretch and a rest here. So the arm comes under the body and the other arm is on top. You're not quite on your feet. Your bottom is lifted off your feet. But you can push yourself back if you wish onto the heels if that works for you. And go deeper stretch. And then we'll come the other way. So this time taking the right hand under the arm and the head to the floor. You can stay with your bottom as close to the heels as you want or come up a bit. And if you come up a bit, you often find you've got a little bit more space to get onto the shoulder and have that deep stretch, stretching out the arms and the shoulders. And back we come. Because we've done quite a lot of work already with those box push-ups, just to rotate the hands round, okay? So just give them a little bit of a rotation there. So we've now got to work our backs. So from here, we're going to go into the cobra. So we'll lower ourselves down, so draw the tummy in and lower yourself with control to the floor. So I like to have my legs hip distance apart here, so I'm going to make sure I've got a nice hip distance. Use your legs up and down, and then the pubic bone is deep into the floor. So for the cobra, I'm going to take my hands slightly off the mat, wide of the mat, so your thumb is roughly in line with your nose, your eye gaze is down, and we're going to start really slowly. So draw the tummy in for me, and just literally lift the head and chest. So the arms and elbows stay down. So from here, you're already working the back, so draw the tummy in and just try to take the weight off the arms. So the work is in the back. So make the legs really heavy and long, so the pubic bone is deep into the floor, and then we lower down. So lower forehead back onto the mat, and then we go again. So draw the tummy in, pubic bone deep into the floor. We'll lift the head, it's that feeling of rolling the marble, and we just stay there. So using the back extensor muscles, really working the back, but the tummy has to pull in, it has to draw in to protect your back and keep the work strong. And down we come. So on the next one, we come up again. And if you want to this time, you can hover the hands. So this is taking the hands off the floor, so you're like a capital E position. So your head is the middle part of the capital E. Your shoulders are back and down away from the ears, and your pubic bone deep into the floor. Breathe, breathe, breathe. And if you want to stay up a little bit longer, you can lift one leg, a nice long right leg, and breathe, and then a nice long left leg. And now you're just on your torso, and just feel that length and work. And down we come. And we push ourselves back into child, just to give ourselves a rest from the work we've done. That was lovely, nice and strong. And now we come over into a sideline position. So just lying on your arm, if that feels good for you. Now make sure your legs are stacked here. You draw that little mouse tunnel under the armpit. And what we're going to do is just climb. So we're lifting the top leg and lowering. Not so it touches though. So lift and lower. So these are really small, controlled moves. Lift and lower. So draw your tummy in. Make sure you've got that nice mouse tunnel underneath the obliques. And lift and lower. And if you want to work a little bit harder, in a second you can lift the feet off the floor. So lift the feet just in line with your bottom and lower. And if you want to feel, you can hold your tummy to make sure the tummy is engaged, or you can just take your finger into that back glute and just see is the glute switching on. It should be as you open and lower. Again, for technique, we don't go too wide. These are really small, controlled moves. So lift and lower. And lower. So this is our last one here. And from here we just do a nice extension, point the toe, extend the top leg, hold, 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 then bring it back. And down we come, and give yourself a nice little rub. So we're going to go over and do the other side. So again, you can be on your arm if that felt good for you, or you can be up here. So I'm just showing you different options. And again, we're going to lift the top leg and climb. So these are really small, controlled movements. Lift and lower. So lift and lower. So try not to let the hips roll. We're trying to keep the hips square. So again, you can put your hands on your hips. If you feel that's the part that you need to control more, put the hand on the hip and feel that the pelvis stays in a neutral position. And the tummy's pulled in, as we said before, keeping that tummy engaged. And again, the glutes are really working behind you here, so you can feel those muscles really engaging. So lift and lower. Draw up the side body, belly back to spine. And remember to breathe. Breath is so important. So breathe, breathing through. And the last one, we lift and we extend that leg long, so pointing the toe, nice long leg, hold, 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 and then draw it back in and down. So from here we're just going to finish off with a little bit of yoga. So coming over, We come back into a down dog. So just stretch through their legs here into a nice down dog. And we're going to just do a rotation for the spine. So take the right arm towards the left leg. So again, you can have your knees bent if you wish. It depends on your flexibility. But if you don't need to, you just take the arm through, and we've got rotation in the spine. We look under the armpit. So opposite arm to opposite ankle or thigh, whatever works for you. And again, I'll show you with bent legs. You can just bend your legs here if that feels better. We're all in, our bodies are all different. It really doesn't matter. Just work to your ability. So just breathe, breathe, breathe through. And then we'll come back and we'll just have a rest in our down dog for a second, have a breath. And then we'll rotate the other way. So I'm just going to rotate round the other way. Just breathe, look under the armpit again. Draw the belly button to spine. Keep that tummy engaged. It protects the back at all times. And just breathe wide into the ribs. Just enjoy your stretch here as we finish off. And we come down. And we're just going to have a little stretch over the legs to finish off. So take the muscles away from your sit bones, the buttock muscles, and just flex your feet for me. So we just do point and flex, point and flex. And we just come over the legs if that feels good. So just coming over as far as is comfortable for you. Flex your feet. Mine tend to pronate a bit, so I like to get them into a good position if I can. It's just the muscles are sort of weaker on the outside and they just sort of tend to flop in a bit. So it's just trying to correct these tiny things that we have wrong with ourselves once you get to know about them. And just breathe. And if you get a bit further, you can take your hands over your feet if that feels good, and just look down into the body. Or you take the hands to the floor, elbows to the floor, and just have a nice stretch here. And then come back up. Bring yourself around. Thank yourself for doing another round of exercises. So that was day 3. So the thing about these, you can put any of them together, you can do them in any order. I'm trying to work the entire body through each of these short routines, and they should fit in anyone's day. They're between 10 and 12 minutes. So thank you. See you again.